What's going on, guys? Welcome to Ajax Reviews. Today we review Just Before Dawn. Directed by Jeff Lieberman, 5 young people venture into the backwoods of Oregon to claim a property and find themselves being stalked by a hulking, machete-wielding psycho. So let me give you a little bit of backstory on this fucking movie. So, way back in the day, my mom used to watch movies late night. And she'd be up with her friend, and they would watch movies and giggle and shit. And we'd hear about the movies the next day. So we wake up and my mom and her friend are there and they're talking about this movie they watched called Just Before Dawn. And how it made my mom sick to her stomach because the last scene, and this is going to be spoiler territory, so if you guys have not seen this movie, fucking turn it off. But there's a scene at the end where the girl fucking throws a punch and it goes into dude's mouth and down his throat, and that's how she fucking kills him. She gags him. Pretty original fucking kill. My mom at the time, now I'm, 7, 8 years old, maybe older, I don't remember. But I was young. And she's talking about how grossed out she was because how when this girl punched, it looked like Spam. Now my mom has this thing where Spam makes her sick. I don't fucking know. What Spam has to do with this movie, I have no idea. But so my mom's explaining this scene where the girl punches and it goes in the throat, and once it goes into his mouth, his face looks like it's made of Spam, and it made her sick and made her throw up, and I'm just like, I gotta see this fucking movie. Well, years go by and I still had never seen the movie. I finally got to see it. I don't remember where it was. I was in my 20s maybe, my late teens, when I ran across a VHS of it. And then I eventually bought it on DVD and now own it on Blu-ray. But I watched it. And I remember liking it. I remember viewing it on VHS and going, holy shit, this is a good movie. This is in the vein of like Friday the 13th and blah, 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 blah. And so I just watched it again. Let's see if my opinion of this movie changed. So one of the things that I'll start off with is apparently back in the 80s, people got grossed out by shit that just wasn't scary. Because there was virtually no gore in this movie. And the kills were just kind of lame. Nothing really to get excited about. I don't see how people could have gotten sick to their stomachs or been scared by this movie way back in the day. One of the things that this movie did do is drop the ball. Now, what do I mean by that? This movie's a classic. People love this movie. Just think about this, okay? So again, we're in spoiler territory because I don't give a shit. I talk about spoilers in all my videos. There's 2 killers. They're 2 big, hulking, fat... I mean, they're played by one dude, but I mean, there's 2 big killers. And they're what? Like, they're not mutants. They're more of just inbred. But look at the possibilities here. Now, the guy who played the killer is like 6'6", 6'7", and at the time, he was about 300 and something pounds. Now, you get another person that's roughly that size, and you put them in there as a body double or stuntman or whatever the case, and you can now put both killers in a shot together. Now, being able to do that, could you imagine the kills we could have got? 2 big hulking dudes killing people? Like you're looking at some cool double team kills now, man. Like you take old WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it, old like wrestling moves, man, and put it on these dudes and just have them ripping people in fucking half. Dude, like that could have been cool. They definitely dropped the ball by not having some of that shit in there. Maybe they didn't think about that stuff in the 80s. Who knows? But I think about that shit. And I just think, one guy's twisting the head off while the other guy's like fucking twisting at the hip or something. I mean, something cool, something crazy like that. They dropped the ball. That's all I'm saying. Now, the movie, although it's not terrible, it seems that they went all in with this ending. Now, don't get me wrong. The idea was really cool. And the execution actually wasn't bad. But to put all your eggs in just this one basket? I don't know, man. Is it that good? Is it that good to where you can say, fuck off on the rest of the movie because everybody's going to freak out about this ending? I don't know. I would have preferred better kills, or at least more creative kills. But it seems like the filmmakers just skimped out on everything else, just so they could have this one major talking point in this movie. And I think they really fucked themselves on it. I mean, I understand that they had one original idea for the demise of the killer, but to bank on that one scene, I don't think it really works. And I remember this movie being better. I mean, the movie wasn't so bad that I regret owning it and buying it on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. It wasn't that bad. And in a way, the movie's kind of like part of my childhood because I spent so many years trying to track it down to be able to actually watch it. So now it's time to talk about the things that I actually liked about this movie. I really like, above everything, the location. Just Oregon is a beautiful, beautiful state, and the woods and the nature that they have there is just amazing. The locations that they used were good. Just everything cinematically like that, the choices as far as where they shot it was really good. Another thing I really liked about this is that the characters all seemed to fit together. Like they actually knew each other. I didn't really feel a whole lot of fake acting going on there. It seemed like they were actually friends. And kudos to the actors on that, because, I mean, that's hard to do. Now, you might think I'm weird for this next one. But at the end of the movie, where Connie kills the second killer and she's got her arm down his throat, and she's just there in her short shorts and her tied shirt and got some blood on her. She's like, dude, she was pretty hot. That was hot, man. I don't know, maybe just my opinion. I don't know. I enjoyed that shit. Now it's time to discuss the things that I didn't like. The movie took too long to get going. There was a whole bunch of nothing going on for the longest time until finally something happened, and it wasn't even that fucking great. Just like, oh, okay, something happened. Yeah, whatever. It's like when you get a yawn. And you really need to yawn, and you start yawning, and then it stops midway through, and you're like, well, fuck, I feel cheated. It's kind of like that. Now, the killers, I know that they're supposed to be inbred and maybe mentally not there, but they just seemed a bit too goofy. Like, if I would have saw them, if this had been me, okay? Or if not me. Let's say this was anybody out in the woods that had any sort of martial arts training or fighting history or anything like that. And you got this big hammerhead that, is obviously inbred. I mean, and he's that size. Kick his fucking knee out. Like, take him out. He'd be easy to take out because, number one, a dude that's 6'7" and 300 pounds, his stamina is going to last for approximately 8 seconds. After that, you can do whatever the hell you want to him. So that's just my opinion. I know I have to suspend disbelief because it's a movie, but am I supposed to believe that these dudes, these guys that are fucking mountain climbers and rock climbers, didn't think to drop kick his knee? Come on, I'd be stupid not to think that. The last thing I didn't like, man, was Warren. The surviving male. I mean, what a little bitch, dude. He laid on the ground, whimpering like a child with a fucking skinned knee, while his girlfriend is kicking the killer's ass and shoving her fist down dude's fucking throat. And Warren's laying there. Dude, what the fuck? I mean, I know a lot of horror movies, although they get a bad reputation for, like, being degrading to women. I know that's not true. A lot of horror movies, like, show empowering women. Like, you didn't need to empower her that fucking much to make him a complete puss, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, I would expect that from, like, maybe her younger brother that is mentally challenged, but not her boyfriend. Like, oh oh my God, dude. Like, if I was her, I would have kicked his ass after. But like, bitch, you didn't fucking help me. So, in conclusion, would I recommend this movie? Of course. I mean, who wouldn't want to own or watch a movie from the 1980s, all campy and shit, that's a cross between Deliverance and Friday the 13th? Like, who wouldn't want to watch that shit? Just don't go into it thinking it's going to blow your fucking mind, because it's not going to. It's good for what it is, and it's obviously the inspiration for movies that came later, like Wrong Turn. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a 2 out of 5. And that's going to do it for me for today, guys. So until next time, remember, stay smart, stay clean, keep the dream. Don't let the man get you down, because if he does, it might be Deliverance Friday the 13th time in the Oregon Mountains, and you don't want that. Why? Because, I mean, look at that guy. Look at the old people. Look at the daughter. Ugh. Fuck that.